So you want to do a day one raid. Now, I've been doing day one raids since around Crown of Sorrow, maybe Garden. I can't remember the time frame. But the first one I got was Deepstone Crypt, and I've never missed a day one since coming on PC. So I feel like I'm qualified to talk about a few things. So, some of the things that I think you need for a day one are going to be mindset, puzzle solving skills, and you need the gear. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and go on to mindset. Mindset, I feel like there's a couple of key categories here. So, have you slept enough? Have you gotten 8 to 10 to whatever hours you need of sleep? Have you eaten correctly? You don't want to eat meals that are going to make you feel tired and exhausted or really full, or else you're going to really just feel tired throughout the run. And do you have a calm mind? So, for sleep, if you aren't well rested enough, you might not be able to do certain things. You might fall behind and start losing function in playing. You might play worse, you might make silly mistakes, you might forget things that you're supposed to do, like call outs. So, have you slept enough? Now, for eating, I want to say, have you eaten just the right amount to where you're not super full and you're feeling lethargic and tired? Or did you overeat so now you're feeling a little more exhausted? And then for cool head, are you calm? Have you rationalized, well, what has gone wrong? Did I mess up here, or did we mess up here as a team? So you slowly figure out all of these things inside of a day one, that your mindset needs to be correct first of all before doing a day one. Next is your puzzle solving skills. Now, for puzzle solving skills, what you are looking for is you're looking for patterns, looking for things out of the normal, named enemies that are specific, like gatekeepers or praetorians, meaning those are key enemies inside of those raids. Now, going on to puzzle solving skills, the way you can increase these is by playing other games that make you puzzle solve so you can figure them out. Or you can start making your own puzzles, solving puzzles to where you actually have to use your brain to figure something out that you don't already know. So, finding out how to do something is very good. Now, on to gear set. Do you have the meta weapons? What is good in this current season? Usually day one raids release really early on into the season, so we need to look at patch notes and calculate for ourselves what would actually be good in this new meta. So a lot of people think grenade launchers are going to be really good in this meta, but another thing, rockets aren't getting really touched, and rockets would be really good. So you got to know where your strengths and your weaknesses lie with each one. For me, I personally think GLs are going to be phenomenal, especially with like anarchy grenades, because you're going to be able to use sustained DPS that way. Ammo economy is a huge issue in day ones. We saw this in Caretaker, and we saw this even in I'm trying to remember. There was another one, but I couldn't remember. But ammo economy is a very huge issue. And even health gated bosses, War Priest and Caretaker were one of those bosses in day one that were very hard to beat. And then I also believe for gear set, I feel like this goes under this category as well. Can you flex to what your team needs? Does your team need a Divinity? Or does your team need a Welllock? Or does your team need Thunder Crash Titans for maybe it's like a boss similar to Atrax where you only get a 3-second window of damage and then it's done. So flex to what your team needs, and I feel like that follows under gear set because you can flex your loadout to what they need. And then, is your team doing poor in one place, and what could you recommend? Now, what this could mean is maybe your ad clear is slow inside of an ad clear encounter. Are people using Forbearance, Trinity Ghoul, Gallahorn, whatever they needed to clear out those rooms? Like Acquisition Day 1 of Valve the Disciple was very rough because ad clear, if you were slow on ad clear, then you were slow the whole encounter and you couldn't do anything about that. Or maybe your DPS is bad. Maybe Izzy Rocket isn't working for you. Maybe you need to switch to linears, or maybe you need to switch to sustained because your ammo economy is really bad. So you switch to anarchy nades. So you want to make sure that you can go ahead and have anything to flex to your team. Now, a couple of things that I want to mention out of those 3 points that I did mention is wipe screens. Wipe screens add a huge benefit to you and your team because it relays information that you didn't know. It could tell you where you need to deposit. Well, not where you need to deposit, but you need to deposit something. It tells you that you might have to damage something, implying, oh, okay, I need to start hitting damage numbers, similar to like crypt security or bosses. You need to figure out that they have a weak spot, so Rolk. So wipe screens are very useful. Sometimes it's good to just go into the room and then wipe to figure out what the idea is behind that room. So overall, I have been Delta, and I hope these tips helped you in figuring out how you want to go about day one, or if you're watching this right before the day one, I hope this actually helps you get the day one. So thank you all for watching, and later.